Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Charles in Charge Cowboys Sports Report. It is August 7th, Sunday night, about 9:30 p.m. Central Time, my time. Thank you for tuning into this video. I believe it's my 53rd overall. If you watching this and you have not subscribed, please do subscribe, like, and share. In the next week or the week after that, depending on schedule, I'll be able to have Law come on my show. Everybody knows Law. I'll just zoom him in. We'll figure it out, so he can, try to help me bump up and get to 1,000 subscribers. That's my first goal, get to 1,000. Therefore, I can start doing live shows, collabs, and some other, other fun stuff. Right now, I just want to talk about the two, I think, could be, the two most important players that could be the biggest difference makers this season, one on each side of the ball. On offense, being that they're ESPN's bringing up, already giving Dak another extension, is the play of Dak this year. That's really going to be a big, part of the pie on how far we go, is the play of Prescott. And on defense, on defense, we want to be diverse. We want to be able to bring out a 4-3 package, a 3-4 package, be very versatile. And we have the personnel for a 3-4 package, and for it to be very effective, you got to have a very effective nose tackle, nose guard, big guy that lines up over the center. And that guy would be John Ridgeway, the rookie. I think if Ridgeway is what they think he is and can back up what he's talking and can be a force in that middle in the 3-4 scheme, that our defense can flourish. Hit that next level, that top level. We got big guys we could put, on the end, because a 3-4 defense, you got 3 down linemen and you got 4 linebackers. The 2 outside linebackers are basically, defensive ends, basically just, not in a 3-point stance and, standing up. So on the ends, in between the tackle and guard, you could put OC, and Gallimore and or Carlos Watkins on the other side. I don't know if Quentin Bohanna has what it takes to be an effective 3-4 nose guard, even though he's as big as he is. But I think John Ridgeway does and has the attitude also. You got to be a special type of cat to be able to anchor a 3-4 defense as a nose guard. And for a 3-4 defense to be successful, you have to have a very good nose guard. A guy that lines up over the center and takes on the center and guard and possibly a third offensive lineman. He's that rabid, and that motor just doesn't stop. Those are the two players, I believe, if we get top flight play out of them, that sky is the limit this year. Because on defense, if I think we're going to be in 3-4 more than we will be in 4-3 or big nickel. And if John Ridgeway can be a menace on that middle, man, and just do his job for the 4 outside linebackers. You got Tank Lawrence on one side. And on the other side, you can have Sam Williams or Dante Fowler or Anthony Barr. And then the two middle guys, you have Leighton Vander Esch and Jabril Cox. That front seven could really do something. John Ridgeway does his job, and we know OC's good, and he's looking great in training camp so far. Him and Gallimore on the end of the line, that defense could be something special this year. Of all the defensive players, especially rookies, John Ridgeway could be the key to unlocking this defense to that next level at being a big-time nose guard as a rookie, and that's not easy to do. And he's a late-round pick also. We'll just have to see about that. But number 95, he took Chad Henning's number. Chad Hennings was a great defensive tackle for us for a long time, but he played in a 4-3 scheme. Right next to Leon Lett a lot of the time. But, my opinion, the guy I'm going to be looking at a lot this season is John Ridgeway whenever we're in the 3-4 package. Because if he can, even in the 4-3 package, when they put him in at defensive tackle, if he can be that wrecker up the middle and get that push, even in a 4-3 defense, if he's lining up next to OC, because OC on a 4-3 can really wreak havoc up the middle and just split linemen. If I know Gallimore is good, he's very good, but if John Ridgeway can be that mountain of a man, watch out. This defense will be top 5 and will allow not a lot of yards, not a lot of first downs, and get a lot of 3-and-outs, which will give Dak Prescott a lot of opportunities. Now, with Dak, his first 3 seasons, he was carried by Zeke. Zeke was in his prime, 2016, 17, and 18. So, with having that running game effective, knowing it's there, Dak played great. Now, during Zeke's 6-game suspension in year 2, the first 3 games, Dak didn't look so good. They lost the first 3 games of that 6-game suspension, and then won the last 3, and they were nail biters too. He didn't look that good, and in 2018, even with a prime Zeke and a good running game, because he didn't have a number 1 receiver, and it was receiver by committee. Michael Gallup's rookie year, he had Hearns and a bunch of no-namers, really. Dak struggled. 3-4 was the record. Bye week comes, we trade for Cooper. We go to Tennessee on Monday night, lose that game, 3-5. And then it took until the second game for Cooper to really acclimate to the offense. And then when Cooper acclimated to the offense and got in sync with Dak, Dak became good again and finished that campaign 7-1 on the back end of the 2018 season and won the only playoff game that he's won, and then lost against the Rams. And then since he's had Cooper, he's been an effective passer. Since 2018, his pass numbers have been 3,800 or higher. Twice he's been over 4,400 yards. Twice he's been at 30 touchdowns or more. So this season, with no Cooper, I know we got a lot of hype on Lamb. I'm a big believer in Lamb. But this year with no Cooper, and Zeke is still good, but he is not 2016, 17, and 18 Zeke. He never will be. He can't go back in time. But Elliott is still a very effective running back, especially when the offensive line blocks. As you saw the first 6 games of last season, he had 607 yards, averaging over 100 yards a game. So he's still got gas in the tank. Last year when they put Collins back in the lineup after the suspension, when Terrence Steele was holding it down, the offensive line just lost all continuity and just kind of collapsed. And then on top of that, he was playing with a PCL tear. So with Dak, for the first time, playing with no Cooper and no prime Zeke, we're going to see what he can do. And talking about giving him an extension already, because the price on quarterbacks is going up and up. Right now Aaron Rodgers is topped out at $50 million at number one. The most guaranteed money given to a quarterback so far is Deshaun Watson, $230 million. His whole contract is guaranteed. $230 guaranteed $1 million. No matter what happens, the Browns are going to give that man $230 million. And he cannot get a massage from anybody unless it's from the team staff. And he got that much guaranteed. Right now, Dak is tied for 7th in the league in how much he makes. Now, when we're talking about giving him an extension, I want to see what he looks like this season with no Cooper and no prime Zeke. If he can hold down the fort and not be up and down, because he's got a big streak of up and down. That's been his, except for 2016, his rookie year. And they should have won that damn playoff game against Green Bay in the divisional round. That was a hell of a game he played as a rookie, coming back down 21-3 to make it 31-all. And Aaron Rodgers makes a crazy pass with no time left to Jared Cook out of bounds, and Mason Crosby nails a 51-yarder twice in a row because we call a timeout on the first one. Besides that season, Dak has not been steady throughout a whole season since that 2017, 18, 19, the year he got hurt, and last year. 2017 started out good, 5-3 at the break, and then goes 4-4 the rest of the way. They finished 9-7, I believe, because Elliott is out 6 games. Starts off pretty good and gets cold towards the end. 2018 starts out very poorly, 3-5. And then he sporadically comes back with a 7-1 finish, wins a playoff game. In 2019, starts off 3-0, hot, loses the next 3, then wins the next 2, and they're at 5-3, and they ultimately finish 8-8. And then in 2020, it was play horrible for 3 quarters. And then in the fourth quarter, when you're down by so much, the defense is playing lax. You just stat pad and, rack up the yards, and it looks good. It worked against Atlanta. That was the only team it worked against. And last season, I know he was coming off a horrific injury, but all the way through New England, he was an MVP candidate. And then after that New England game, had a bye week, and then they sat him out of the Minnesota game Halloween night, and we stole a win in Minnesota with Cooper Rush. And then he comes back and plays against Denver and, doesn't get any points on the board until late in the fourth quarter when the game's 30-0. Next week beats Atlanta 43-3. And then after that, really just kind of falls off the map. And his play just really digressed. Our offense was so anemic the back half of last season. I mean, against Kansas City, I know Cooper was out and CeeDee Lamb went out with a concussion in the first quarter. But that defense held a prime Kansas City offense that was healthy to 19 points in Arrowhead. Nobody does that. 19 points. They had the Cheetah, they had Hardman, they had Kelsey, they had Mahomes, a healthy line, they had everything. And our defense holds them to a touchdown and 4 field goals. And all Dak can muster up is 3 field goals. That's it. He did have Michael Gallup. He did have Cedric Wilson. He did have Zeke and Pollard. A big time quarterback makes other players better. Like, Aaron Rodgers or Peyton Manning, for example, could take three guys off the street, literally, and make them into 1,000-yard receivers that given season. And against the Raiders, a team not as good as Kansas City on both sides of the ball. Defense didn't show up like they did against Kansas City, but he still didn't have Cooper or Lamb. He did have Gallup, but, all game he struggled until the fourth quarter. He rallies, gets in overtime, and then we get the ball first, and on 3rd and 4, he misses a wide-open Noah Brown. And then, we beat the Giants, but it's a low-scoring affair. I forgot the score of that game. It was like 21-13, 19-13, something like that. And then we beat Washington. Low-scoring affair. Offense very lethargic. It's 24 to 10 in the fourth quarter, something like that. Dak throws a pick six late and makes it a ball game again, but we hold Washington off to win. And just, against the Saints, we beat them, but we don't put up much points. The biggest play was Tony Pollard's 60-yard touchdown run. And then we play Washington at home and put up 56. That was great. But then the next game we play Arizona, and we hold Arizona to 19 points, and we lose that game because we can't score more than, I think it was 13. And then the game after that against Philly, they were just playing their backups, and he was just trying to break Romo's passing record. Dak has to have a season where he is not up and down. He has to be up and stay up the whole way. He's allowed to have a bad game or two or three, but he cannot just get into a lull and stay there for a half of a season. Now, if we start hot and at home knock off Tampa and Cincy, I would assume we will beat New York and Washington after that. And then the Rams, that'll be a really tough out. Probably an L there. I expect us to beat Philly. I expect us to start hot like we did last year. I expect us after 7 games to be 6-1. But after that, I want, if that's the case, I believe it will be, Dak starts hot. After we have a good start, theoretically, saying that we do, he needs to obtain that. And the schedule gets a lot easier after the first 6 games. And when we're playing teams like the Bears and the Lions, and we're just winning them, like 17-13 or 21-10, that's not going to cut it. Because when you're playing bad teams, you should roll over them with no problem. The game should be over by the third quarter. And last season, the back half of the season, it wasn't. They were actual contests against the Giants and against Washington the first time. And, against the Saints. They were just lucky that Winston was hurt. Taysom Hill was quarterback. If Winston was not hurt, Dak would have had to do more than he did. And he had everybody he needed that game. Nobody was out. So, basically, training camp's underway. I'm just saying this season, if we get big play out of Ridgeway and Dak, I believe that this team, and I'm talking about all season long, I don't want Ridgeway hitting a rookie wall. I want him to be able to play well all year long. And same with Dak. If they play well to their ability all year long, then this season will be a very good one. John Ridgeway, a name that's going under the radar a lot because he's a late round pick, could be the biggest impact defensive rookie and maybe one of the biggest, besides Parsons, of course, the biggest impact player on this defense. If he can be that, what's a good example for a good 3-4 nose tackle? Vince Wilfork. I believe, Richard Seymour. Was Sam Adams ever in the 3-4 scheme? I know that was a 4-3. Shoot, there's not a whole lot of big, big name 3-4 nose tackles. That's how rare they come. But I think Ridgeway I know there's something about him. He's got that edge and that confidence that he can do it. And he's already got a nickname, the Vanilla Gorilla, and he said he's going to come out ripping heads off. And that's the attitude that we need. We don't need to be going into a playoff game at our own house nervous and scared. What the hell is that about? When the 49ers were confident as hell and they came out and showed it. Now, we were that good that we had 14 penalties, like 150 yards worth of penalties, and mistakes all over the place, just filthy game. And we're only down by 6 points at the end of the game. And how we got that spike off and had 1 second left, we still had a shot to steal it. That shows you something. As poorly as we played and as many penalties as we had, we should have got blown out, but we didn't, because this team is a very good team. It's very young. And Anthony Barr, great signing. He's going to be able to open up Micah Parsons to do a lot more than he was able to last year. And we need to sign a receiver. Will Fuller. If we just bring on Will Fuller, my goodness. I know he's an injury-plagued receiver his whole career, but all we need him to do is be healthy for 5 or 6 games. Play the first 5 or 6 games, then he can pull a hammy and milk that for 6 weeks, because Gallup should be back by then. And Lamb, Gallup, and Tolbert, I'm comfortable with. It's just a bridge player is all it is. A bridge wide receiver. And then Washington will be back later in the season. And then if Will Fuller does get hurt after week 6 or week 7, he'll probably be back later in the season too. And then, that's when you want to be at your healthiest, is going into the tournament. And we will make it to the tournament this year. We will win the East. Let Philly wear that paper crown right now. Let them enjoy it, because that's the most enjoyment they're going to have all year. And but basically, that's what this video is about. If John Ridgeway can be what I think he is, our defense, you think it was good last year, our defense will be even that much better. Not just because of takeaways, but just flat out stopping offenses in their tracks. Stopping them in their tracks. Allowing less yards, less points, less time of possession. And that gives the ball more to the offense. And with a revamped offensive line, with Connor Williams out, who had the most holding penalties on the Cowboys line last year. I know Tyler Smith did in college, at tackle in Tulsa, led NCAA. But he's playing guard now, not tackle. It's a whole different story. And where it is, he's doing damn good in camp. And he is working his ass off. And his heart is in it. And he's a big man, too. A big man. And Terrence Steele, I saw a clip of Terrence Steele when they were in pads, and he pancaked Tank Lawrence. Terrence Steele, that boy is going to be something, man. We are rebuilding our offensive line. Right now it's Steele and Tyler Smith, the two youngins. And if Dash could somehow, wake up in year 3, that would be great. If he could just be a good center. Doesn't have to be a Frederick, just be a good center. That would be fantastic. Then we'd have 3 young linemen of the rebuilding process, and then have 2 of the old vets still there. Zach Martin's only 30. I think Zach Martin's got a good 5 years left because he's not injury plagued. He doesn't miss many games. Only 2020 was his injury year when everybody was hurt. Tyron Smith has a few, I think 3 good years left until he's toast, really. But whenever he goes down for a few games this year, I do not want Tyler Smith kicking out from left guard to left tackle. I want him to be at left guard for the first few years and be good at that. And then whenever it's time for him to go to left tackle, then be left tackle. But we need to get a good swing tackle, because if 77, is out for a game and they kick Tyler Smith out from guard to tackle, it's going to screw him up. It's going to screw everything up. He needs to be left guard for the first couple years. Left guard. That's it. Eat, breathe, sleep, and eat left guard. And whenever we part ways with 77, or when he retires, then move him to left tackle, and then he can eat, sleep, and breathe left tackle. But right now, he's left guard. We need to get a swing tackle, and I would prefer us to go sign a veteran. I don't want Josh Ball or, let's go big and all, but I don't want a rookie at swing tackle. Hell, go sign Dwayne Brown. No, he was only blindside. Trade for Cameron Fleming or something, Just get a solid swing tackle, a solid one. And don't let Terrence Steele be a swing tackle, because he's a right tackle, not a left, as y'all saw last year. He was horrible at left tackle, great at right tackle, didn't lie with sack, and let Zeke and Pollard run all over the place off the right side of the line. But that's basically it for this episode. Guys, just rambling on with some thoughts of this upcoming season. 32 days until kickoff, guys. 32 days until kickoff. Until Sunday night, we kick off with Tampa Bay at our house, and we show TB12 his first loss to the Star, baby. I cannot wait. 32 days cannot come quick enough, but it'll be here sooner than later, guys. And when it does, we will celebrate together that Sunday night after we pull off that W. I will be live with my video celebrating. I can tell you that right now. And then my birthday, September 18th, will be week 2, and I should be at that game when Cincinnati comes to town. I don't see why I wouldn't be. It's on my birthday. The last time I remember the Cowboys playing on my birthday is 2004 against Cleveland. We won that game. I watched that from home. That was my birthday present. I turned 18 that year. I was happy. That's all I wanted for my birthday, was a Cowboy win. And that night, Oscar De La Hoya fought Bernard Hopkins. I was a big De La Hoya fan too. And he lost. He got knocked out with a body shot. That was a long time ago. I got a memory like an elephant. It's crazy. But, all right, guys, please subscribe, like, and share. And that's basically it for this episode, guys. I'm on a mission to get to 1,000 this week or the next. Like I said, I'm going to have Law Nation zoom in on my show, and we'll have a few things to discuss and debate on, and hopefully that'll help, accelerate my subscribers. I'm at 138, I believe. Hopefully this video will get me to 200. Please, guys, 62 of y'all, please subscribe when y'all watching this video. That's it for this episode. Guys, y'all be safe and good out there. Keep God with you. God's first and foremost always. And God bless each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all for watching. And Charles in Charge is out. I'll see y'all on the flip side.